Welcome back to the Crypto Spaces channel. Thank you guys so much for all the continued support. I really appreciate it. I have some bad news for you guys. This is why, I took a step back away from, making content with my previous channel. At the time, it was called Blockchain Daily. And I took a step back because of YouTube's policies. And they, there was, it's pretty unfair for smaller creators on the platform, I'll be honest, because things happen where it really limits your motivation to create content, and you're questioning it like, what did I do wrong? What's going on? Why why did this happen, right? So recently in my previous live stream, the market update that I talked about, all the projects that we love on the channel, ZBCN, XCN, QNT, Quant, right, Monad, Banker, etc. I did a deep dive into all of them with the market update, where the Bitcoin potentially is going to move in the future, what type of price action we could see throughout the rest of the year, etc. Right? But for some reason, I got a strike on my channel that violated community guidelines. As you can see, warning. Your content was removed due to a violation of our community guidelines. This is a warning. If you select or take action, you could appeal it if we get it wrong. If you think we got it wrong, you could also take the optional training to remove the warning after 90 days. So I've completed the training, right? So it will expire on June 22nd, okay? I appealed it, and apparently they said, they confirmed that YouTube violates YouTube's community guidelines, right? So no further appeal is possible. So if you violate this policy again within 90 days, completing the policy trading, you'll get a strike. You won't be able to do things like upload, post, or live stream for 1 week, right? So this is just a warning strike. I have no idea. I think I sent in an appeal and they still said what I did was wrong. I don't know what I did wrong, because typically in every single video I make, I'm not giving promises of extremely high price predictions. I am not, I'm telling people, hey, make sure you take profits. Never invest more than you're willing to lose. Never invest emotionally. You guys hear me every single video, say the same thing, don't invest an amount in the crypto that could potentially wreck your entire life and, put you in debt. Leave the space saying crypto has ruined me. When you invest in crypto, you invest an amount that is like the extra stuff. Say for example, you have a 9 to 5, you have an honest living, you have hustles, side hustles, etc. You only invest a percentage of what you make. So a small percent of what you make, and in your mind you have to always put it into your mind that, hey, whatever I invest in crypto, I can lose it, right? And that way you save yourself a lot of trouble. And obviously I always say, nothing I say is financial advice. Nothing I say is financial advice. I even get people upset when I say, some of these projects, maybe they do a 5x, 10x and take profits there. People, some people even get upset at me when I say things like that, because they want me to be Super Moon Boy, which other channels are Super Moon Boy. They're Super Moon Boy and they do not get in any type of trouble, right? So I don't know why I got this strike. I don't know why the appeal got rejected. But I'm just going to take it in stride and keep it moving, because like I said, I had a channel before that I was building. I talked about other projects. And because of YouTube's policies, it's just extremely tough, right? So, but I'm going to keep it pushing. It's just a warning. And from now on, I'll have to be extremely careful with what I say, as far as price. Even if my price predictions for our projects are very low, very conservative, which all of them are, extremely conservative, extremely you would say bearish or nothing unrealistic. All of my what I think these weird projects could head, never anything unrealistic. I'm never telling anyone to overinvest in any project. People get upset with me, for example, say there's a project when I say, okay, you could buy 100,000 tokens of this project, and then people would say, oh, no way, I'll buy way more, that's too little. And I say, hey, that's up to you, we're all adults here. And I literally say, hey, Never invest more than you're willing to lose, because nothing in this space is guaranteed. And this is what I say in every video. Nothing is guaranteed. Never, and I stress it so much. Nothing is guaranteed. Never invest more than you're willing to lose. Nothing I say is financial advice. I stress that so much. But yet in my live stream, I got a strike on the live stream. So if I'm not saying I will, not gonna put it out there either. But if I were to get another strike, then I wouldn't be able to post for a week. So what are my solutions here? Well, first of all, I have the Crypto Spaces Clips channel. This is gonna be my backup channel just in case, you know, I can't post. I'll post here and like I said, I'll have to do my best to avoid any type of like price prediction, anything like that. I don't know, because I don't know what constitutes a strike, because you know, YouTube doesn't even tell you, hey, this is the exact thing you did wrong. They don't do that, right? So it's very unfair. You know, it's very demotivating, right? But you know, I have a goal to get this channel to 100,000 subscribers. That's my goal. I always had a dream to get that 100K plaque for YouTube. You know, all the setbacks I've had in my life, I always had that as a goal of mine. So I will keep, you know, consistent. I'll do my best. I'll just have to I'll be extremely careful with what I say from now on. So solutions, Crypto Spaces Clips channel is going to be my backup channel. And my other solution, because, you know, I heavily rely on the ad revenue from my YouTube channels. I heavily rely on the ad revenue. But I've created a Patreon for $5 a month if you just want to support the channel further. And you know, want to see the content, want me to continue to bring value to you know, the YouTube platform, and to cover the projects that you guys enjoy and love and want to support. If you want me to keep my coverage and keep posting and keep active, I'd truly appreciate if you could become a patron on the Patreon for $5 a month. And you know, I made it in a way where it's like not too steep or anything like that. It's just like something just so you could support me further, because of again, the unfair policies and the extremely strict policies for, you know, from YouTube, especially being a crypto content creator. Like I said, crypto content is so hidden. I try to pay YouTube to promote my videos, because you know, there's a legal way for you to pay for YouTube to promote, like Google ads, right? And the amount of them that got disapproved because it's crypto content, the amount of views that get less views because it's crypto content, you know, it's extremely difficult being a crypto content creator. And like I said, it's like the whole world sees crypto as a scam, and it's very frustrating. It's very depressing to you know, to keep pushing in this space. But like I said, I have a passion for it. I love this space, you know. And you know, I'm a believer in God as well, and I put God first in everything. And you know, I just think this space is like a blessing for people that are struggling and want to get ahead, and they're going through it. They have, you know, they're in debt, they have bills to pay, etc. I see this space as a blessing for them to change that, as long as, you know, like I've said in my videos, I show you guys how to be strategic, how to remove emotions from, you know, investing in this space, and how to take profits, and how to, you know, be smart, right? So again, just to wrap things up, I have the strike here. I did the appeal, I did the training, right, to get it removed in the next 3 months, which is a very long time. But if I get another strike, I won't be able to post for a week, right? They rejected the appeal. Like I said, I did literally nothing wrong, in my opinion, because the same thing I do in my videos, it's the same thing I do in the live streams. I say never invest more than you're willing to lose. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing I say is financial advice, right? And crypto is very high risk. So, you know, again, be careful with how much you invest, right? So Crypto Spaces Clips will be my backup channel. It's in the description as well for all my videos, and I'll be posting there. And I also set up a Patreon if you want to support the channel further for $5 a month. It will really help me out, guys. You know, just in case, because like I said, I rely heavily on the YouTube ad revenue. So I'm just laying out my laying out my heart to you guys, because I really want to make this channel work. I really want to make this this space work. and show that it's possible to truly make it in this space without having to be a scammer, insider, grifter, you name it, right? Just publicly buy low, sell high, get profits, and continue to build in your growth, right? Because like I said, this space is a blessing. Thank God for the strength to push me through and keep going here. And like I said, if you like, it really help to support if you subscribe to the Crypto Spaces Clips channel and also become a Patreon member for $5 a month, guys. So as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Remember, nothing I say is financial advice. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one.